How would you transport $4.3 billion in cash in the backseat of your car? Dive into the dark heart of corruption where greed, arrogance, and utter disrespect for the law converge. Witness how Truong My Lan, a real estate magnate, orchestrated one of the largest fraud scandals in the world. Stay tuned as we explore the complexities of this landmark case, where billions of dollars were misappropriated, leading to an unprecedented verdict for a woman in Vietnam. Born on October 13, 1956, Truong My Lan's journey into the business world was influenced by her early exposure to commerce, assisting her mother in a bustling cosmetic market in Ho Chi Minh City. This foundational experience sowed the seeds of entrepreneurial acumen that would define her career. In the wake of Vietnam's economic reforms initiated by the Communist Party in 1986, she started acquiring land and properties. By the 1990s, her expansive real estate holdings included a significant collection of hotels and restaurants. In 1992, leveraging her market insights and relentless ambition, Lan, along with her family, established Van Thin Phat. She became the chairperson of the company that rapidly carved out a significant niche in Vietnam's real estate sector, undertaking prestigious projects that transformed urban skylines. Their portfolio boasted of grand developments, including skyscrapers, luxury hotels, and shopping malls, predominantly in prime downtown locations of Ho Chi Minh City. This period of meteoric rise painted a picture of a robust empire, yet beneath this facade of success were the intricate webs of financial transactions that would later unravel, revealing a staggering scale of alleged corruption and fraud. You may ask yourself, how did Lan finance all these massive projects? By simply asking for loans at the bank? That would have been too slow and difficult. So instead, she decided to cheat the system completely and become one of the richest women in Asia. Every crime has a motive, and this is no different in Lan's case. As she couldn't finance all these projects in the most prime locations by using the traditional banking system, she had to get creative. Therefore, she decided to become the judge, jury, and executioner. In other words, she decided to own a bank that she could use as her own cash reserve to grow her empire. Between 2012 and 2022, Truong My Lan controlled Saigon Joint Stock Commercial Bank, SCB, Ho Chi Minh City's largest bank by assets. SCB was born in 2012 from the merger of three failing banks facing bankruptcy, a merger approved by the State Bank of Vietnam. But how did she manage to do that? In Vietnam, the laws governing bank ownership and control are designed to ensure stability and prevent excessive concentration of ownership, which might lead to conflicts of interest and misuse of the banking resources. Generally, these regulations are managed by the State Bank of Vietnam, which oversees all banking operations and ensures compliance with the country's banking laws. Vietnamese law prohibits any individual from holding more than 5% of the shares in any bank. This is when her business acumen and resourcefulness kicked in. She created hundreds of shell companies and used her power to appoint her own people as managers. These proxy agents ultimately gave her control of more than 90% of SCB. She then ordered them to approve hundreds of loans to the network of shell companies she controlled, namely close to $44 billion. The amounts taken out are staggering, as her loans made up 93% of all the bank's lending. The intricacies of Truong My Lan's alleged criminal activities began to surface in early 2018, unraveling a complex scheme that would become one of Southeast Asia's most significant financial fraud cases. The crux of the fraud involved the illegal issuance of bonds worth tens of millions of US dollars by the shell companies and the fabrication of over 900 loan applications that funneled money directly into Lan's businesses and personal accounts, effectively bypassing typical regulatory scrutiny. Between February 2018 and October 2022, these maneuvers illicitly redirected approximately 304 trillion Vietnamese dongs, around 12.5 billion USD, a staggering sum that represented about 3% of Vietnam's GDP in 2022. But do you think she only used this money to contribute to the Vietnamese economy? Of course not, and that's why she delegated the fun part to her driver. Over a period of 3 years, she ordered him to withdraw 108 trillion Vietnamese dongs, more than $4 billion in cash from the bank, and store it in her basement. This whole stash is the equivalent of about 2 tons, the weight of 2 great white sharks. Ultimately, Lan's intricate network of corruption extended beyond simple financial fraud. It was reported that she engaged in bribery, influencing various governmental and financial officials to facilitate her schemes or turn a blind eye. And that didn't sit right with either the authorities or the bank's customers, who demanded prompt answers. The dramatic unraveling of Truong My Lan's empire began with her arrest on October 6, 2022. After years of investigations by Vietnamese authorities, the day marked a significant turning point in the country's fight against corruption. Lan was taken into custody, accused of orchestrating the largest fraud in the nation's history. A total of 83 individuals were brought to trial. This group included Lan herself, her family members, and a range of other defendants such as former leaders of SCB, former State Bank of Vietnam officers, and officials from other governmental agencies. The scale of the trial reflects the extensive nature of the corruption network and the significant number of accomplices involved in the fraud scheme. The public response was one of shock and anger. The enormity of the fraud, involving billions of dollars, not only highlighted severe vulnerabilities within Vietnam's financial systems, but also eroded public trust in banking institutions. More than 42,000 common people, like you and me, who purchased bonds with the hope to earn interest were impacted. The numerous arrests led to immediate financial panic, manifesting as a bank run where depositors hurried to withdraw their savings, fearing for the security of their funds. This reaction was intensified by 3 SCB employees ending their lives in the same month, underscoring the profound human cost of the scandal. In the corridors of power, the arrest was a vindication of the ongoing anti-corruption campaign championed by the Communist Party of Vietnam under the leadership of General Secretary Nguyen Phu Trong, which had intensified its efforts to cleanse the system. This fight against corruption is described as the blazing furnace. High-profile cases like Lan's served both as a warning to other potential offenders and as a statement of intent from the government to restore public confidence in its institutions. This campaign has led to the resignation of 2 presidents and 2 prime ministers in recent years, and hundreds of officials being disciplined or jailed. The Vietnamese Communist Party's strategy in making the Truong My Lan trial highly exemplary is rooted in several key objectives. The harsh sentences serve as a strong deterrent against future corruption, sending a clear message that no one is above the law, regardless of their status or influence. By tackling corruption head-on, the party seeks to strengthen its legitimacy and maintain political stability. Corruption has long been a source of public discontent in Vietnam, and addressing this issue effectively helps to prevent dissatisfaction that could destabilize the party's rule. As Vietnam continues to integrate more deeply into the global economy, demonstrating a commitment to rule of law and transparent governance becomes increasingly important. By dealing strictly with corruption, especially in high-profile economic sectors like banking and real estate, the party aims to attract more foreign investment and improve its international standing. The trial of Truong My Lan, commencing on March 5, 2024, was a landmark event held at the Ho Chi Minh City People's Court. This trial, noted for its scale and significance, involved not only Lan, but also 82 other defendants, including her close family members and high-ranking officials across various sectors. The courtroom was a scene of intense scrutiny as prosecutors laid out a detailed case against Lan, painting a picture of a meticulously orchestrated fraud that had siphoned billions from Vietnam's financial system. The trial summoned 2,700 individuals to testify, engaging 10 state prosecutors and approximately 200 lawyers. The physical evidence spanned 104 boxes with a cumulative weight of 6 tons. Prosecutors said they seized more than 1,000 properties belonging to Lan. On April 11, 2024, the verdict was handed down. Lan's husband, Hong Kong investor Eric Chu Napki, was sentenced to 9 years in prison for setting up fake loan applications. Lan's niece, Chung Hoai Van, who was the CEO of Van Thin Phat, received a 17-year prison sentence. Do Tin Yan, a former chief inspector at the central bank, was given a life sentence for accepting a $5.2 million bribe from Lan. who asked her to overlook irregularities in the operations that led to the massive fraud. All the other defendants were found guilty, and 4 received life sentences. Truong My Lan was found guilty of embezzlement, bribery, and violations of banking rules. She was convicted of taking out $44 billion in loans from the Saigon Commercial Bank, and the verdict requires her to return $27 billion. She was sentenced to death by lethal injection. The severity of Truong My Lan's sentence stands out remarkably, as it marks a rare occasion where Vietnam imposed the death penalty for a financial crime, underscoring the exceptional magnitude of the fraud involved. Her actions not only violate the property management rights of individuals and organizations, but also push SCB into a state of special control, eroding people's trust in the leadership of the party and state. VN Express quoted the judgment as saying, "We can only wonder how many real estate projects have been financed by these illicit funds, and what the true scale of this scandal is."